Hey guys, as the video title suggests, I'm going to talk about why I'm so hyped about the BFA Frost Mage in specifically N plus scenarios where the mobs can be affected by roots, stuns, knockbacks, etc. because of this particular talent called Shatter. Now let's talk about what Frost Mage is currently on live, which is Lonely Winter, Thermal Void, and Splitting Ice, and it's super boring. It's super Resident Sleeper, where you just cast Frostbolt, Frostbolt, Frostbolt. Oh look, I get a Brain Freeze proc. I'll do Frostbolt into Flurry into Ice Lance, and that's it. You know, it's very boring. And in BFA, Glacial Spike is your go-to talent, and basically your passive talents are sort of meh now. So a lot more buttons to press, and a lot higher skill cap because you need to make good use of Shatter. And for those of you that have started playing Frost Mage in Legion, you won't really know what Shatter is, or you wouldn't really have much of a chance to, I guess, play with it. And what Shatter is so you know how when you get a Brain Freeze proc, you do Frostbolt into Brain Freeze into Ice Lance. Now the reason you do that is because Brain Freeze travels faster than your Frostbolt. Your Flurry travels faster than your Frostbolt. And what Brain Freeze does on the target is that it makes it so that that window where your Flurry has hit the target, all your spells benefit from Shatter. All your spells have a higher chance to crit. More specifically, 1.5, that's the multiplier on the crit chance, and then another 50%. So that's why everybody says get 33.3333% crit. That is the cap that you have to have as a Frost Mage. But people who started playing Frost Mage in Legion probably won't know that this here, Frost Nova, also counts as Shatter. So if I Ice Lance this target, it will crit. If I do this, if I Frostbolt this target, it will crit. Every single spell that I hit on this target will crit. Will be affected by this multiplier. And I don't have enough crit at the moment because of the stat switch in BFA, but hopefully I'll still be able to demonstrate what exactly I'm talking about. So just let me kill this mob. Okay, so now that we've dealt with what exactly Shatter is, let's talk about Glacial Spike. Now, at one point in Legion, I remember Glacial Spike was actually viable. It was doing alright, and people did spec into it. And the rotation back then was, well, let's get a Brain Freeze problem. The rotation back then was Glacial Spike into Flurry, and that made it so that your Glacial Spike would benefit from Brain Freeze Flurry, the crit damage multiplier, which is Shatter, similar to what you do currently on live, which is Frostbolt into Flurry into Ice Lance. But let's explore some scenarios where you don't have Brain Freeze proc available from you. So scenario 1 is, so now I have a Brain Freeze proc. I have 5 icicles, and I can do Glacial Spike. I could Glacial Spike into Pet Freeze. And remember what I talked about just now. Frost Nova, Ice Nova, and your Pet Freeze all give Shatter. So, like I was talking about, let's do a scenario for Frost Nova. Actually, no, let's do a scenario for Ice Nova first, because Frost Nova is a little bit iffy to do. So, what I could do is, I need to get pretty far away from this target, but what I could do is Glacial Spike into Ice Nova, and that freezes him, and it should crit, but because, again, I'm not at 33.33% crit, it didn't crit, obviously, just when I was making this video, but whatever. Let's kill this mob off. So let's talk about Frost Nova, to use Frost Nova to make Glacial Spike crit. Now, you need to be pretty close to target because you need to be in range to actually Frost Nova. So what you could do if you're really far away is you could just blink it and spam Frost Nova. and then that makes it so that your Glacial Spike will also crit.
Integrity 0%.
So that's basically Glacial Spike on mobs that can benefit, well, that can be CC'd basically. And I see a lot of streamers and a lot of people playing a beta in dungeon scenarios. They get Glacial Spike available to them, they have 5 icicles, and they just hard cast it without, you know, trying to make it so that it will 100% crit. And just putting this video out there to increase awareness, I guess. Next, let's talk about AoE scenarios. So we've dealt with Glacial Spike. Let's talk about Ice Nova and Comet Storm. So these are going to be, you know, big spells which will do a lot of damage in AoE scenarios. And Comet Storm, the damage of Comet Storm doesn't actually split, but it's a very small area effect. It's actually only 6 shards. But anyways, I'm still messing around with this. I don't have this down quite yet, and I don't know whether this is the most optimal way. But just to give you a glimpse of how, you know, how high of a skill cap I guess there is, let's just do what I've discovered so far. So I'm going to Frostbolt into Pet Freeze, which will ensure that my Frostbolt will benefit from Shadow. I'm also going to Ice Nova the moment my Frostbolt hits, the moment my Pet Freeze hits as well, so that I'm basically getting 2 for 1. And my Ice Nova should keep that target frozen at the end of it, which I can follow up with Comet Storm, and then blink in and Frost Nova, and well, spam Frost Nova. I'm just gonna do 1 and see how many Comet Stones actually crit, so that my Comet Stones will also benefit from Shadow. So I'm not gonna execute it now. That's it. So if I can get out of combat with this, let's have a look at my damage numbers. Every single one of my Comet Storm crit because of Ice Nova and Frost Nova. My Frostbolt definitely crit because, well, I hard casted it into my Pet Freeze. And my Ice Nova also crit. So every single spell here crit, except for Frost Nova. Oh no, that crit because I got lucky. But every single spell here crit. And that is why I'm so hyped for BFA Frost Mage, is because you can do so many things with this particular passive Shatter, and that's the Frost Mage I love, and that's the Frost Mage that, you know, should be. Just one last quick note is also Glacial Spike. I'm just gonna cast it. I'm gonna show it to you guys. Also gives also freezes the target. So if I hard cast Glacial Spike without anything, it actually freezes the target there. And I could follow up with a Comet Storm into Ice Nova if I really wanted to, but it's better off just Ice Lancing after. So yeah, that's it. Sorry if this video sounded really rushed and really messy and disorganized, but hopefully I got the message across that, you know, for those who don't know Frost Mages much and didn't really play a mage before Legion, there's a lot of hype. There's a high skill cap, a lot of spells to be cast, and the way you organize your spells to benefit from Shadow the most is super exciting for me. For those of you that have played a mage and know about this, well, good news. We're back to Shadow. Shadow's just an awesome passive that creates a very high skill cap ceiling for Frost Mages, and I think Frost Mages are going to do very well in N+. Not only because the numbers look good, but because of how well, you know, how high the skill cap is to manage Shatter, and you'll see good Frost Mages against I guess normal Frost Mages, and the gap between the two of them is going to be very clear. So yeah, thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you did like it and it was educational. Give me a follow as well. You can catch me. I'll definitely be uploading more videos on BFA Beta. And you can catch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/highhyper. Thanks for watching.